At the start of 2025, I made the decision to stop using my iPhone. 18 months later, I look back and I know it was the best decision I've ever made. Even though my daily life is mostly the same as it was in 2024 when I was still using my phone, everything about my life now is significantly better, and I know it's because I stopped using my phone. Looking back, the main decision I made that ultimately led to me not using my phone anymore was in the middle of November 2024. I deleted all my social media. At that point, the only accounts I had were a Snapchat and a Twitter account. I wasn't posting on either of them. I would use Snapchat because a few of my friends would post funny stories, and I would use Twitter to check sports news and some other stuff. But ultimately, I grew so tired of the algorithms just shoving nonsense down my throat that I just deleted both of them. And after 6 weeks of not using any social media, I was ready to get rid of my phone permanently. When I deleted Snapchat and Twitter, I didn't really fully understand how much time I was wasting on those apps just doing absolutely nothing. In a typical day, I'd spend at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours, between Twitter and Snapchat combined, doing absolutely nothing productive. And the crazy thing is, most people use their phone for way more than 1 to 2 hours a day. A lot of people now are using their phone for at least 6 hours a day, typically more. Because I deleted these apps in November, it was real cold outside. So it wasn't like I was replacing this screen time with being super social and a whole bunch of other stuff. I actually just replaced the screen time with using my computer instead of using my phone. And when I started using my computer more, I immediately realized how much more productive I was when I would use my computer instead of my phone. When I use my computer, some of my time is productive. But when I used my phone, none of my time was productive. When I finally deleted all my social media apps, I realized that there was basically no reason to look at my phone at all. Anything that I could look at on my phone, I can look at on my computer, even text messages. And of course, when I use a computer, I'm definitely not productive every single second I use it, of course. But I really think if I didn't put my phone down, I wouldn't have done things like start this YouTube channel. After a few weeks of not using my phone and only using a computer, again, in the cold winter where there really wasn't much opportunity to socialize or do other stuff, just by using a computer, I noticed I was so much more productive. Instead of scrolling Snapchat and Twitter, I started using music production software and video editing software. Eventually, I bought a game capture card and started a YouTube channel playing a different video game over a year ago now. And I've done a whole bunch of other things, even before I started this channel, which is now one of the many projects I have going on. When I was using my phone every day, I didn't have any of this going on. And again, it's not even like all my time on a computer is productive, just some of it. By just being productive on a computer for a couple hours a day, I actually have changed my life. There was never anything I did on my phone that ever came close to changing my life, ever. The time I've spent using apps like FL Studio and After Effects and a whole bunch of others is so much better than anything I've ever done on my phone. When I complete a project on After Effects or a beat on Logic or FL Studio, I feel so much better than I ever did when I would scroll social media. When I would scroll social media, I would just feel empty inside afterwards and kind of stressed out. When I make a beat or make an edit, I actually feel really good. In my thousands of hours using an iPhone, I never did anything productive ever. So I am so happy that I finally closed that chapter of my life and moved on to doing productive stuff on a computer. And something else I noticed when I stopped using my phone was that even though I didn't use my phone that much, I still would do pointless pickups all the time. And the number one way I was reminded that I would do pointless pickups is that after 6 weeks of permanently putting my phone away, my computer actually broke. So for a few days when I had to fix my computer, I had to use my phone because I had no choice. And in that time, I realized I was pointlessly picking up my phone all the time. The week when my computer was getting fixed made me realize that I definitely made the right decision when I stopped using my phone. And in that 1 week, I was totally amazed how many times I thought to myself, without even really actually thinking about it, oh, I'm bored, let me just pick up my phone. Oh, I'm in the elevator and I'm uncomfortable, so let me use my phone, even though this is only going to last 3 seconds. Oh, I'm in public and I don't really know what to do with myself, so let me stare at my phone. Just from the 1 week I went back to using my phone, I realized I was doing that again, and I hated it. I feel like people pointlessly pick up their phones for 3 reasons. The first one being that they're bored. In hindsight, I realized there are a lot of times where I was using my phone just because I didn't really have anything going on. So I used the phone just to waste time. The second reason people pointlessly pick up their phone is anxiety. Oh, this 5 second elevator ride is really uncomfortable. At least my handy dandy phone is here to make me not feel anxious. Yikes. I used to do stuff like that, and in hindsight, it makes me cringe a little bit. The third reason, which I think isn't talked about enough, is a lot of people feel the need to always be available. Nowadays, people feel like they gotta be next to their phone because someone could text them and it could be so important. Ooh, there could be a huge trade in the NBA and it could be so crazy. Ooh, there could be a new Drake song leak and it could be so good. Even though the chances of that happening on any given day are basically zero, people 365 days a year are pointlessly picking up their phone because they feel the need to always be available to other people and to always be available to absorb the news. On the day I'm recording this commentary, Giannis Antetokounmpo just got traded from the Bucks to the Heat. But if I didn't learn that until tomorrow when I turn on the TV to watch the NBA draft, would it really matter that I went 20 hours without knowing that Giannis got traded? The answer is obviously no. But the thing is something like Giannis getting traded is actually a big event in sports. But nowadays, people sit around on their phone and are digesting all this pointless news about the least significant transactions ever. I'm a huge sports fan, and when I was a teenager, I was absolutely all over that stuff. I definitely cared about all the most pointless transactions ever. I was definitely obsessed and 24/7 scrolling the news every day looking for the next news bite. But now that I'm older, I got goals and objectives, and I'll just watch the games when they happen. And that goes back to my point that when I use my phone, none of my time is productive. Now that I'm not using Twitter every day, I check sports news for max 10 minutes a day, which is really all I need to get all the info. But when I use my phone, that was just hours a day down the drain on pointless speculation. Regardless of the specific reason people are pointlessly picking up their phone, it all leads to the same problem, which is nowadays so many people are distracted from the present moment. I've already made a video on people not being present in the moment, so I won't repeat myself here, but I will mention that me personally, I didn't realize until I put my phone down how distracted I was at all times. Whether I was at a sports game, at the mall, at a bar, even just walking around, I was just so distracted because I had my phone in my pocket or my phone in my hand. Now that I don't have that, I feel so much more engaged in the moment. And the number one reason I feel more engaged in the present moment now is because I'm not constantly thinking about all the pointless noise that's on the internet. When I'm at a concert, I don't want to be checking my phone to see if an athlete got traded or if someone's getting in a beef on social media. I just want to enjoy the concert. And what I noticed is even though I was the person who wouldn't really be checking my phone when I'm at a concert or something else like that, I did notice that just checking my phone in my free time led to me just overthinking about all of this dumb stuff when I was trying to do stuff that I wanted to enjoy. And all of that overthinking took me away from enjoying the present. And the worst part is that now a lot of the stuff on the internet is so stressful. It's just people getting in fights, a bunch of bad behavior, and just pointless nonsense. When I was using my phone every day, I didn't have the perspective to understand that all of the pointless noise on the internet actually was making me stressed out when I wasn't using my phone. But when I stopped using my phone and removed myself from the daily habit of using my phone every day, all of a sudden I had the perspective to understand that even though I didn't realize it, a lot of the stuff on the internet really was stressing me out. Once I got my computer repaired, I immediately did not use my phone again. And by the time I got to the middle of 2025, I felt so much better. I really cannot even put it into words. When I was using my phone every day, I didn't understand how my phone was stressing me out. That the reason I felt so empty inside was because I was wasting my time using my phone instead of being productive. That instead of focusing on my own problems and my own life and achieving my own goals, I was focusing on all these other people, all the dumb drama they were getting in, all the bad decisions they were making, and it was totally unproductive and not helping me at all. It took a few months, but eventually my thoughts went from pointless nonsense I saw on the internet to thinking about myself, thinking about my life, what I was going to do on a computer to be productive, what I was going to do when I go out into the world every day. But when I used my phone, I was never thinking about any of that. I was just thinking about pointless garbage. And looking back, it's just so crazy to me to think that I would actually overthink and get stressed out about stuff that just didn't impact my life at all. That I would think about all these other people instead of thinking about myself. I look back and I feel like using my phone was a huge maturity block. Like it prevented me from growing up and becoming an adult. Because now that I don't use my phone, I'm way more focused on myself and my goals, like I should be at this age. Now that I don't use my phone anymore, I feel significantly more productive. I feel like I'm way more present and engaged in the current moment, and I feel significantly less stressed out. And as a result, I enjoy my daily life significantly more than I did when I was using my phone every day. If anyone is watching this video and thinking that they want to stop using their phone too, my advice would to be just go one day without using your phone and see how you feel. I think people get a little too caught up in, oh, I gotta never use my phone again and make some permanent big decision. I think it's just better to go one day without using it and just start there. Most people use their phone every day, so they don't have the perspective on what life is like without using their phone. So just one day of not using a phone can absolutely make a big difference. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. This has been Weedified. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you all in the next video.